You already
All
know
right,
that game made me
ladies and
smile, made me
gentlemen,
happy.
welcome to episode 27 of the Sunday Spiral Podcast. I'm joined by the usual suspects, Artie, Dalen, and Cam, here to discuss last week's events, this week's events, next week's events. How's everybody doing today?
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and take it. Doing fine. We're doing good. We're doing good, man. Again, we blessed to see another week of football. Some people's teams are doing good. Some people's teams are doing bad. I encourage everybody to be patient, unless you're the Bengals. Panic. I don't care. Panic. Cry. Suffer. Who cares? But I encourage everybody to just be patient with your teams. Your teams will figure it out. It's just now it's week 4 of the season, but it's only been 3 games. Shit happens.
On God, you know what I mean? I can't complain, Been trying to get out the mud with Toledo, NCAA. I ain't gonna lie.
That mud
It's
suck, ain't it?
it's rough, brother.
Hey, you over there coming for a 3-star. It ain't the same down there
It
in the G5.
ain't even
Whew.
that, bro. I'm in the Big Ten, bro. I'm up there strong arming niggas. I get in that playoff, them niggas is just bullying me. I'm like, no, bro, please.
USC did me very dirty in the college football playoff with ODU. I hear you.
I think I just lost to Oregon
it's a joke.
again. Like, who has 296 speed safeties? Why?
The crazy thing about that is they're not even like real Big Ten teams for real. Like Oregon, y'all should have stayed in the Pac-12. USC, y'all should have stayed in the Pac-12. Like the fact that they're doing all that under the Big Ten umbrella is like crazy.
It's gross, honestly.
Tell
It definitely is.
But yeah, I'm good. I'm doing good too. Ready to talk about football and ready to see what we have going forward for Week 4 of NFL action.
All right. This episode is titled The Young and the Pretenders because we're about to get into pretender season as the fall season rolls on. But we'll start with our icebreaker. I wanted to get into the underdog situation. So as you can see on the screen right here, underdogs are 14-2 against the spread this season. Vegas is cooking y'all every single week. Why do we think the underdogs are taking a W so early in the season? Let's go ahead and start with Dalen.
Man, look. As the defensive kid, defense is back, baby. I know y'all see what Brian Flores is out there doing, bro. Brian Flores. I've been sitting in the chat, but I encourage you to go to Twitter and go look at what Brian Flores is. He is cooking up some nonsense. And when I tell you it is disgusting, I absolutely love it. He's literally showing man, like all-out man blitzes. Harrison Smith is dropping in a Tampa 2, but he's not playing safety. He's playing the corner version of Tampa 2. The corner's going to drop back, go play safety, and we're just doing all this match looking. The receivers are kind of looking like, what the world is going on? The quarterback is, bro. He had CJ Stroud in a blender all game. It was just marvelous, beautiful. But overall, I think, honestly, like I said, I've said this for a while though, but I think the offensive line play is very, very down. It's been going down since like 2019, really since before that, but 2019 was like the obvious, this is going down. So I think the offensive line play and all the defense is like obviously with the offensive line play being bad and the defense coming back, I just think that teams haven't shown the ability to run the ball either. And because they haven't shown the ability to run the ball, they have to pass all the time. But the pass defense is just shit's locked. So that's why you see a lot of quarterbacks looking real pedestrian, real pedestrian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback off of that. Like, defensively, like I said it last week. Get ready for another rule change in the off season. Because you know they don't play by this. But yeah, it's the quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are having a rough go at it. A lot of them, besides like Sam Darnold, Josh Allen.
He did whatever he wanted Monday night. He did whatever he wanted.
Brother, I can't even say what he did to them people. We're gonna get age restricted. Like, good Lord. But yeah, it's just a myriad of things coupled with injuries. But at the same time, I think it's just a lot of wholly unpreparedness on some of these OCs. They don't have the adjustments that they need to make on some of these. I guess some of these really good defenses, and it's shown for it. And like we're used to early season woes in the NFL, but this is the roughest I've seen in a while, to my recent memory. It's really bad. I ain't gonna lie, it's really bad. So yeah, I'm gonna just kick it to defense getting better, and I hope it keeps getting better in spite of them probably changing the rules. And yeah, hopefully you niggas figure it out. Hopefully y'all don't, but
That's our
hopefully y'all
good
figure it out.
Yeah. I think it's honestly just the guessing game of do we play our starters in the preseason or don't we? I think that the preseason games they don't matter in the aspect of okay, who wins, but I think they do matter in the aspect of okay, can we get my starters reps? Because if you look at the teams that are struggling, that are favored, majority of them are teams that rested their starters throughout the entire preseason. So it's just that age old battle of, hey, do I play my starters in the preseason, give them a couple reps or not? Because no matter how hard you go at it in practice, you can never simulate that live action without that live action. So I just think it's a case of that. And honestly, like Dalen and Cam said, defenses are just on it this year. The defense in the NFL as a whole has just been up. Like it's harder to score this year. So that's what I think is contributing to underdogs winning more games.
Yeah, I definitely am with the point about just defenses have finally found an answer to what these offenses were doing in terms of capping these explosive plays and forcing teams to drive the football again. And being able to take those explosive plays away, those easy buttons from offenses, that's giving these underdogs a real chance to compete in these games. Now you got to run the football to be successful. You really do. And usually these underdog teams with younger quarterbacks and these types of things are more prone to be running the football or be more built to do that. And they've been handling it better. But I think the biggest thing is this: it's September football. It's preseason. It's practically preseason. People are wasting preseason reps in the regular season. Teams aren't getting up to speed. Players aren't in camp because they aren't being paid. Pay your players. Get them into camp. It is not hard. And you go forward with some of these problems. But all right, let's go ahead and move forward to the next segment. So we got a number 1 overall pick dilemma. Last 3 number 1 overall quarterbacks are on the screen: Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence. They all stink right now. Why do they all stink, fellas? What is the problem here?
I'll go first, and I'll go in a direction that most of y'all probably aren't gonna take. So y'all don't have to worry about me taking anything. I mean, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. I mean, there's a reason why these teams had the first overall pick. Some of these organizations are very good at mishandling their assets, making poor decisions. I mean, shit, 10 years ago, we thought that Jacksonville was going to be a contender for the next at least 5 years. That team wasn't shit after another year and a half. It was a similar situation in, what year was that with the Bears? Was it like 2019? Was it 2019 or 2020? But whichever year we're like, that defense was just lights out, unstoppable. Never became shit ever again. And then the Panthers, I mean, let's just be honest. The Panthers haven't been shit since the Super Bowl that they lost. So a lot of these teams get the number 1 overall pick, but then they already don't have success in team building. And so they're just like, all right, cool. We're just going to take the best player, but the coaching may not necessarily be there, right? I mean, we get in Trevor Lawrence's example. First year, he's dealing with tumultuous ass Urban Meyer. Basically, wastes a whole year and has to learn a whole nother offense. Granted, he did good at first, but now he's it's damn near seeming like he's unplayable. So on that side of things, I don't know what's going on with Trevor. Like, it's very scary to see after you just paid him a lot of money in the offseason. So he has to figure it out. I mean, Doug Peterson's seat is burning, scorching. So he needs to get ready for it. In my opinion, with the Bears, I already felt like Eberflus should have left. If you're going to get rid of Justin, go ahead and get a new head coach as well. Could have got you another young offensive-minded head coach, but they didn't do that. Ryan Poles stuck with his guns. Cool. That's the decision he made, and it just hasn't worked. And then the Panthers, I mean, even kind of going back to what I said earlier, even since kind of they've changed owners, they haven't really been shit. Like, it's just mismanagement. The owner is very sensitive. You can't tell him what to do. And I think with him, he keeps trying to look at it as just strictly business. But you can't always do that in football. You need results as well. And we all saw how bad Bryce's first year was. His O-line was absolutely horrid and terrible, and it fucked his confidence. His confidence is absolutely shot. So now coming into this first year, the first game, okay, I can give him some leeway in saying that O-line was trash. That second game, after rewatching it, I was wrong. The O-line was protecting very well, but his confidence is cooked. So Canales had no choice but to just sit him down. And then you hate to see that in such a young quarterback with Andy Dalton immediately blowing out the Raiders. And it's a whole new team out there. So now you just hope, like, well, shit, I hope his confidence doesn't get shit on even more. That's like I said, that's the main thing for me. Most of these organizations who have the number one pick have it for a reason. And even still, for a while, it takes a minute before they get the right people to get in there. And Jacksonville, going back to you real quick, y'all should have never hired Trent Baalke. And I'm done.
Yeah, this hits a little home for me. Being that I'm a quarterback scout for this department. So two of those gentlemen on the screen right there, I actually evaluated them, thought very extremely highly of them. On public record, I had my eval on T-Law, but that never saw the light of day. But I think the hard part is kind of what Cam said, but I'm going to take it a step further. When you're these guys, right, Heisman Trophy winners, guys with a lot of success, winning national championships, when you go to a system or a team or franchise that is not a winning culture, it's not like a strong environment as far as breeding winning and breeding competitiveness, that can affect you as a player. Like, I actually went back and watched Caleb's last game against Indy this week, and you could tell Caleb is starting to get more comfortable. He's starting to make the adjustment to the speed of the game a little more. But specifically for Caleb, you can also see he's still a little wide-eyed and still hasn't turned off that switch to where, hey, this is the NFL now. I can't do what I did in Southern Cal here. And some players don't get that for 8-10 weeks. So I think it's also, just the nature of the position. Also, you have to factor in that defensive coordinators know how talented these quarterbacks are. That's why they get drafted number one overall. So these coordinators are purposely calling defensive schemes to confuse them, which, obviously there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're supposed to do. But it's just a lot on them in their mind, in their bodies early on in their career. So I think it's more of that's kind of what comes with the job more than, hey, like it's a problem with number one picks finding success because other than Joe, which Joe had success, but Joe even got hurt. I can't think of a number one pick at quarterback in the past 10 years that just came in and just had like immediate success and was this top flight, top 10, top 5 quarterback. Number 1 overall pick. Number 2, hey, looking at you, CJ Stroud. But yeah, I think it's just nature of the beast, nature of the game.
All right. So, y'all gave some quality answers, but I'm just gonna break it down like this. All right. For the Jags, for Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson, you stink. You stink. You need to go away, bro. You stink. You're terrible. Press Taylor too. That's Zach Taylor's brother. You stink. You're bad. Like, if I see another play that's not being designed for one of your 3 top weapons, I'm gonna spaz. Why am I seeing Parker Washington get plays instead of Brian Thomas, instead of Evan Ingram, instead of Christian Kirk? What are we doing? Why am I doing that? You're not helping your offensive line for Travis Etienne, who you also drafted in the first round. This should be an offense that relatively works, and it's just no. Trevor is also like, he's definitely missed a lot of layups. I think that Monday Night Football game, he missed Brian Thomas on a crosser high. Missing a 6'3" target on a crosser is kind of insane, by the way. But he missed a 6'3" receiver on a crosser. I don't know. It's just everything has went backwards with him. Like, he showed a little bit of promise, obviously, before this year. And it seems like this year he's just in. He's been rough. In terms of Caleb, Eberflus should have been gone. Eberflus should have been packed up as well because he stinks. Who's calling plays over? Is it Shane Waldron?
Yeah,
It's Shane
I
Waldron,
think
right?
it's Waldron. Yeah.
He's gross. He needs to go leave too. He's bad. Stop calling this stupid ass plays. They're terrible. But Caleb is young. Caleb will figure it out. Also, his pieces have also not been fully healthy all the way there. Keenan Allen's already missed some time. Rome Odunze's hurt, obviously, as of right now. A lot of his pieces are missing time, and they're unable to run the ball, even though they have run lanes because, somebody's running back is trash. But we ain't here to discuss that. We ain't here to talk about that.
I'm gonna truck you instead of getting extra yards.
He's genuinely the worst. Like, bro, this dude runs with a blindfold on. Dude is bad. He's terrible.
Blindfold is crazy.
This dude runs with a blindfold on. But in terms of Bryce, shoot, man. I mean, honestly, I'm not taking a lot of what Andy Dalton did just because Andy Dalton's been in the league 14 years, bro. Like, he's been in the league 14 years. Bryce only been in the league. He's played, 18 games? And, the first year he was running around with Adam Thielen and Jonathan Mingo and just receivers who couldn't separate and were completely and totally, absolutely, utterly cooked. The offensive line was dog. Everything was just horrendous for Bryce. And then it's like the second year, okay, sure, the offensive line is more improved. They got Deontay Johnson. They not really using him all that well. Thielen's still trash, and he's hurt, by the way. So,
hey, bro, sacrifice his hammy for that win. How dare you?
It's always soft tissue with him too. I don't know if they got Deontay Johnson going. I don't think they did all that much.
Oh, they did. Oh yeah.
Okay,
those 20 points on fantasy were fantastic. They definitely did. They got that young brother going.
But again, Bryce has played 18 games, and this might have been they have yet to have a stable type of environment for him to grow and for him to thrive in. So, honestly, if this is just what they're going to do and they're going to pretend like Bryce is trash, I guarantee you, give it to someone else. Give him to the Rams. I bet you the Rams will do something with him. I bet you that. I bet you that. I bet you Sean McVay is just waiting. I can bet you that.
They do not want to do that.
Miami. Get on the phone.
Miami, look, if you're that concerned about Tua, hit him up.
I think Tyler's going to start this week too.
Exactly. I think for me, this quarterback's playing too early. I think we got to get back to the art of letting QBs sit and letting QBs learn. Now, we had a couple examples. Justin Herbert and CJ Stroud, they popped right away. First game of their careers, they show right up. I'm like that.
Hey, to be fair, it took the doctors purposefully damn near trying to kill Tyrod Taylor for Herbert to play. But I
Collusion.
digress.
Yeah,
I
for
digress.
sure, for sure. The attempted murder aside, these quarterbacks who are jumping into these starts, a lot of them jumping into these starts right away. They're not getting any time to really learn. They're not getting time to watch to help these teams to gain any chemistry without them. They're getting thrown into the fire. And while I think for a while that seemed like the right idea, let's best QB in the league sat a year. So it clearly shows that it's something that can work for you. I think you got to give these quarterbacks a chance to kind of sit back and see what the NFL landscape is before they're getting thrown into the fire like this, because their confidence is getting broken right away. The NFL is showing right up and just snapping confidence in 2 pieces, 3 pieces, 4 pieces. And suddenly, like you saw with that Bryce Young tape, like a guy who the situation is manageable around him, he can't make any plays because he still got PTSD from his entire early part of his career. The team's good now, but it don't matter. He's screwed up in the head. Trevor Lawrence, another one of those guys who probably should have sat that Urban Meyer season, and maybe he wouldn't look so ruined as he does now. If we be honest, T-Law had an 8-game stretch at the end of 2022 where he looked like he was that guy, and he's been bad in pretty much every other stretch of his career. And we in year 4. That's not a good thing to say about the number 1 overall pick at quarterback. And then, Caleb, he's super duper young and things like that, but it's just like, I just watched Jaden Daniels put on one of the best rookie QB performances I've ever seen. So
He
it's
missed
not
2
like
passes. He missed 2 passes and threw 3 touchdowns, by the way.
he was like that's Cincinnati Bengals just made Patrick Mahomes struggle. Like that we just saw that happen. And Jaden Daniels treated them like he was playing some FCS West at LSU. That's what he looked like against those guys. So it's not that quarterbacks are just incapable of showing up, but Jaden Daniels has a whole bunch of more experience than a lot of these quarterbacks do. He played a ton of college, but I think you got to give these quarterbacks a little bit longer to develop, man. I think these guys are getting thrown in too quickly, and it's just breaking their confidence real fast, especially getting thrown in. And Bryce Young, coach, gets fired year 1. Trevor Lawrence, coach, gets fired year 1. Caleb Williams, coach, is probably going to get fired year 1. It can't be. Lame duck coaches can't keep making decisions on these quarterbacks because it's messing up their development.
Trevor Lawrence has a lower passer rating than Daniel Jones currently right now, by the way.
Goodness.
It's bad.
Goodness.
It's bad.
Goodness. Actually, to touch up a little bit on your point, the 3 best quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life all sat. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers. They all sat. They all watched. They all developed. Rodgers sat for what, 3 years?
Oh yeah.
It was at least 2, maybe 3. He might have filled in for a game or 2 here because I know he did get hurt. I know Favre got hurt, so Rodgers might have filled in, but he didn't have a yeah. And Rodgers filled in against the Cowboys. So Rodgers filled in against the Cowboys. Obviously Brady had to wait his turn, and Brady was a 6th-round pick, but Brady still learned and developed. And Mahomes waited an entire year behind Alex Smith, and the next year he came out, threw 50 touchdowns and won MVP. Yeah, so sometimes you just gotta wait and let these players kind of develop, especially quarterback. It's literally the make or break of everything. So sometimes you gotta let them sit down and just let them learn.
Yeah. I know everybody wants to get as much out of these rookie contracts as you can, but you're not drafting a quarterback just for 5 years. You're drafting them for a decade. You need those guys to be locked in and be developing at a certain level. I love what New England's doing. You see how that offensive line, those weapons in a run game looks in New England. Let Jacoby Brissett take those bullets. Let Jacoby Brissett show him how to manage in a terrible situation, and then hopefully Drake May can manage better with actual talent on his side.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll wrap that segment up. We're going to move on next to our early season surprises. All right, so look, when the preseason NFL Power Rankings came out this year, I don't think we expected to see these 4 teams highlighted on the list here. In the Saints, Vikings, Commanders, Seahawks. Are any of these teams legit? Do we consider any of these teams to be more of a surprise than the other ones? Who's fake? Who's not? Give me your thoughts.
I'm gonna take it first. Honestly, the Seahawks starting off 3-0. It's a little shocker. I was expecting them to start out strong though. Mike McDonald's a damn good coach. That's Mike McDonald's a damn good coach. I knew. Yeah, I know, Cam. I'm sorry, but still, Mike McDonald is a damn good coach. And they're the only one on this team where I would say they do not qualify as a surprise, at least for me, in my opinion. I would honestly say the biggest surprise is probably the Saints, just because of how awful Derek Carr looked last year, just how awful that whole entire team looked. And, you know, they come out and they stomped on the Cowboys. They were scoring on every possession basically before the Philly game. They scored, I think, on 15 possessions. Something crazy. And you know, even though they did lose, still the offense just coming out and just being on fire was just the biggest surprise to me. So the fact that they aren't 0-3 right now and trying to dang near, you know, bench Carr for Rattler, that's honestly my biggest early season surprise. But also shout out to what Brian Flores is doing out there in Minnesota. Like I said, please go find some Twitter clips. It's marvelous.
Oh, trust me, nah. He about to get a quick little shout out from me because that's who I'm gonna pick. Because nobody necessarily. Well, let me not say that. Everybody didn't really know how to feel about the Vikings, especially once JJ went down, because a lot of people kind of just expected. Well, we knew he was gonna have to sit, but we kind of expected him to get like the start middle of the year. This man is in MVP conversations. Nobody could have ever expected to hear Sam Darnold in MVP conversations. Yes, I get it. It's only week 4. Do I expect him to be in it for the rest of the year? No. But this is a very strong start from this Vikings team that a lot of people didn't expect. I mean, you got another year of Brian Flores actually getting some of the defenders, or you know, some of the defenders that he needs for his defense to succeed in. You see the fruits of his labor. You see how they're benefiting, what type of nightmare scenarios they're giving these QBs. Like it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. I love watching DCs making offenses hell. And Brian Flores has been doing it. I mean, he is from that he's from the Belichick tree. So I can't really say I'm shocked. He was doing it in Miami. He just hated Tua. So
Yeah.
So he's a very
hated.
Despise that man.
You're a mistake, buddy. Said, whoa.
Curse you and the whole Tagovailoa bloodline.
Why do you exist?
I'm not gonna lie.
Herbert.
I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick actually got that line. I hate the way you walk, the way you talk, I hate the way you dress. I would probably got that from Brian Flores about Tua. Like he probably said, "I hate the way you throw it. I hate the way you snap. I hate the way you say hut." Like he probably literally said that.
That 100%. Shit was sick. My dog was starting Fitzy. Good lord, he's a sick man. But some other kudos I'm gonna give is Jalen Nailor. We all know that Jordan Addison went down, and Jalen Nailor stepped up. He's been really good in Jordan Addison's absence. So it just kind of just goes to show how great of a coach Kevin O'Connell is. So yeah, shout out to the Vikings.
When I look at this list visually, everybody's got on dark jerseys, and I'm a lighthearted person. I guess that's the way to say it. So that team in the white there definitely surprises me, because when you look at the play caller, the coach, and somewhat the quarterback, based on my evaluation, you think, this team's going to struggle a little bit. They have not struggled. As a matter of fact,
they haven't punted in 2 weeks.
Their rookie quarterback looks like the best quarterback in this class. And I was not that high on him at all. Like, seeing what C.J. Stroud last year did was surprising, but at the end of the day, I knew the potential he had. Seeing what Jaden Daniels is doing now, like, nah, that's really impressive. And you know, the fact that they're able to compete against teams like the Bengals, you know what I'm saying, this early on is just very impressive. So I wonder how long they'll sustain, because out of these teams here, I think they're the most likely pretenders out of them. But as far as being surprised, yeah, it's definitely the Commanders for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it local myself. That was a performance, man. He's got the DMV buzzing after what he pulled off on Monday Night Football. I haven't seen anything like that since RG3's first career game against the Saints 12 years ago, where a rookie quarterback stepped on the field, just looked like a superstar right away. That's what he looked like. Like the way I was most impressed by his poise and his decision making. Like he was out there, they were throwing. Lou Anarumo was throwing everything he had, and we know Lou Anarumo got some crazy stuff in his bag. And Jayden Daniels just picked it apart. Whether he stayed patient, used his legs to get the first downs, running in the read option, dicing up the zone, taking what's there, and then when Lou Anarumo got the blitz, when Lou Anarumo decided to bring the single coverage, he hit Terry McLaurin over the top, over and over and over again. It was scary. Terry,
that touchdown pass was beautiful.
It was scary, beautiful. And that was the touchdown pass was incredible. I think that was the second best pass he made to McLaurin that night from the one he hit earlier in the game over two people. He was unbelievable. Like that's definitely the biggest surprise for me because I feel like if he's that guy, like we talk about, like I thought he was third, fourth best QB in the class. He won the Heisman for a reason, and it's looking like it right now. Like that looked like a Heisman NFL MVP type of quarterback where he could just kind of play with defenses and do whatever he wants. And if he's looking like that, Washington has definitely elevated their status in the league if Jayden Daniels is going to look like this. I mean, probably not consistently every week. He's still young, but going forward, you see the potential. And if he's that's really, really good.
Those haters can't stand us. Let's head up. Who are we? The Commanders.
Shut up. Shut up. That's the worst. That is honestly the worst thing they've ever come up with.
Oh my God. You can't let fans do nothing, man. Fans and social media is who is rough out here. Man. All right. And coming up next, we're going to do Lock It Up with Hunter. Okay, now we're going to do rookie ranks with RD and Daly.
Cool.
Shut up.
Man, welcome back to Rookie Ranks. It's your boy Artie, joined by my fellow Mr. Art Scout partner Dalen. Today we are talking about offensive rookie of the year frontrunner. Is it one of these former LSU teammates? Is it Jayden Daniels or is it Malik Nabers for you right now?
Look, man, this is a tough conversation, especially after, again, I encourage everybody to go rewatch that Monday Night Football game. Jayden Daniels was fantastic, but Malik Nabers has been destroying these secondaries. He's been marvelous. He's been a great route runner. You can see his first touchdown against, or his first touchdown last week, again, the body control was just insane. Literally, even Myles Garrett dapped him up. Look, son, you're amazing. You're good. You're going to be a damn good player. I appreciate it, OG. Dog. Malik Nabers is a dog. I knew he was going to be a dog literally from the first freaking tape that I was watching of him back in like August of last year, bro. I just knew he was going to be him, and he's done nothing besides prove that he's going to be him. I think the narratives fit him a little better, especially since he's doing it with Daniel Jones at quarterback, and really nothing else. It's just him. Give me Malik. Give me Malik. Just because of the narratives, though. But I would not be surprised if Jayden Daniels definitely ends up stealing it in the end.
Yeah, they love to give quarterbacks awards over receivers just because of the position nature, but I could definitely see them like giving like a co-award, which would be kind of cool. Even though they were former college teammates, they get the offensive rookie of the year, whatever. But I agree, this is hands down Malik Nabers for me. Really good situation. Jayden Daniels in a somewhat good situation, like he has a number one receiver to throw to, bro. Like you said, Malik Nabers is doing is catching passes from Daniel Jones. And they legit have no other source of explosive playmaking on that offense at all.
Mm-hmm.
The running back, I believe, is Devin Singletary. The other receivers are Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, and I think their tight end is Theo Johnson. So a bunch of unproven guys. Mind you, Malik Neighbors is kind of unproven himself, but over the past 2 weeks, he's not only looked like the best rookie wide receiver, but he's looked like one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So, yeah, Malik Neighbors takes this one for sure.
Okay. Do you keep Drake May on the bench? It's a tough little question. Or at least, let's see. I remember I pre-asked, already how long that you would keep him on the bench. He said till about week 5-ish, week 6.
Mm-hmm.
I would honestly probably push it. I'd probably say around there. I'd say around that mid-season mark, week 7, week 8, week 9. I can't remember off the top of my head. Well, no, I think they have a late bye week, so never mind. I was gonna say after the bye, but they got a late bye, so I would honestly say if they know that they're not gonna be really competing for a playoff spot really as much, I would say, let's play Drake May about halfway through the season. Let's just get him some reps, just some real life, reps. No matter how, bad he looks, how good he looks, just let him get the reps. Because obviously you got to see what you have in him, see what he's good at, see what he's bad at, see what you got to develop coming here for next year. And, when you hit the draft next year, let's go party. Let's go boogie. Let's go find some superstar offensive linemen. Let's go find another receiver. Let's go find some defense. Let's keep building this thing around him. But I would honestly say about halfway through the season, so anywhere between week 7, 8, 9-ish, let's play him. But as of right now, I don't think you're in a rush.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a situation where you only play Drake May due to injury, or if the season's completely done, you have no chance of making the playoffs and you just want to see what you've got. If it's a situation where you're a playoff contender, obviously you stick with Jacoby Brissett because team chemistry, and you're trying to compete for the playoffs. But I believe when Patrick Mahomes was a rookie, the Chiefs had everything locked up, so they let him play 1 or 2 games at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I think the Patriots should basically adapt that same mindset. We're only gonna play him if absolutely necessary or if it benefits him going forward. So that's just how I would attack it.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna wrap it up for Rookie Ranks. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, now we're going to get back into our games of the week. First off, we got a playoff rematch from last year. Bucks won, I think, 32-9. Kicked the piss out of the Eagles last year in the playoffs. Beautiful hate watch. And now we're back at it again with a couple of 2-1 football teams. The Buccaneers could have easily been on the surprise list if they hadn't got smoked by Bo Nix last Sunday. But regardless, who are we expecting to come out on top in this playoff rematch? I don't think A.J. Brown is going to play again. I think we still expecting him to be out. So Philadelphia is still playing undermanned, but they found a way to overcome it twice. So can they do it again?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, wow.
That's very strong.
See, here's the thing about Philly, right? Last week, as gutsy as that performance was, you really got to see that team is the exact same team from last year. To a T. That team is the exact same team from last year. The only difference is they have a rejuvenated and motivated Saquon Barkley. That's it. That's the exact same team. So when you face a secondary, or when you face a wide receiver core that has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, you've got to earn that trust from me. You've got to earn that trust for deep Philly's defense. Be like, okay, every above average quarterback that you face, you're not going to get shredded. Before Jordan Love shred his knee, he shredded Philly's defense. Kirk Cousins on prime time football did what he had to do to get the dub on this defense. So it's just until they show me that defense is worth a damn, I don't trust them. Give me the Bucks.
Well, I will agree with Artie here, but I won't be as strong about it. I'll just be more analytical about it. So as we know, Philly's defense is Swiss cheese. They actually held their own against New Orleans, so that is good. But other than that, they've been Swiss cheese against Green Bay. They were Swiss cheese against Atlanta. Um, Kirk Cousins, I think, went up the field in like a minute 12-ish, somewhere around there, and dotted them up and won the game. Um, and in terms of the Bucks, like I said, Baker outside of Denver, he's been he's been hot. He's definitely been on fire. Him and Chris Godwin have been absolutely unstoppable. Um, Mike Evans has been a little quiet, but this could easily be a game where Mike Evans gets back involved and they have a little bit more success in terms of running the ball on the edges, kind of like where Rashad White is kind of good at. Um, and again, I just don't know if Philly is going to be able to keep up, without superstar wide receiver AJ Brown. I mean, even though Goddard did go for what was it, 270 something or he went for two something. He went crazy. I understand he went crazy, but I just when he's the only person that's there as of right now, because I think as of we're recording this, I know Brown didn't practice, Smitty didn't practice neither. I think he's still in concussion protocol, and Lane Johnson hasn't practiced either. So it could get real war of attrition real quick for Philly. So I'm gonna say the Bucks probably take this one in a close one, and that Philly defense just lets them down.
Well, granted, I do think the Bucks will also win, but I'm gonna talk about what you would definitely need to see. I want to see as a Philly fan. So let me pull up something real. Okay, so he only got sacked one time in Washington. When they played the Lions, Baker Mayfield was touched 5 times. 4.5 times was from one man in Aiden Hutchinson. And this last week's game against Denver, he hit the deck 7 times. Yeah, no, if nobody was able to watch that Denver game, part of the reason why they couldn't do shit else, like, yeah, they had that one run where they drive where they started establishing the run. They were bringing pressure, and Baker couldn't do shit. So, if I'm an Eagles fan, this is the time you want to see what your much maligned pass rush is going to give you, because Baker's very touchable, like extremely touchable. So I get Fangio talk about how Bryce Huff is learning the position. He's not just being a DPR, stuff like that, but it doesn't matter. You guys need to get Brandon Graham, Jalen Carter, Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, and Huff. Y'all gotta get them all going, because Baker. You see what happens if Baker can't comfortably sit in the pocket and dice you up. I mean, the Broncos didn't score again, I think, after halftime. I mean, they didn't score a touchdown again after halftime.
Didn't need it.
Didn't have to, because they was just getting all types of pressure. Vance Joseph was just like, fuck it, send 7. And what they gonna do if I send this 7-piece? Nothing. And they lost because of it. So if I'm the Eagles, that's what you want. That's the thing you need to see. Is my D line gonna get to Baker? Because Baker is very touchable, extremely touchable. But I still think the Bucks take it away.
Yeah, I guess that'll be a clean sweep for me. I can't go out here and be picking Philly on the podcast. That makes me want to throw up. But the bigger problem is those injuries. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Lane Johnson. It's like those are the good players in the offense, and most of them are not about to be playing. I think that's really what takes the cake for me. I think healthy, I trust Philly more than I trust the Bucks if both were healthy, but they're not both healthy. So you got to look at the games for what they are. The Bucks, even despite the speed bump last week, I think the Bucks are still playing with plenty of confidence. I think Baker's playing with plenty of confidence, and they're going up against a defense that's just not as good. There's no Pat Surtain on the other side taking your number one receiver away and making you have to go to other options. So not only rejuvenated Chris Godwin going up against the secondary he should be able to eat on. But who the hell is guarding Mike Evans? I can't see it. So I expect the Buccaneers to be able to get the ball rolling on offense. I do like the Todd Bowles versus Kellen Moore matchup. They've kind of gone back and forth over the years. We've seen them with the Cowboys. Kellen Moore's had his success. Todd Bowles has had his success. So me seeing those two go at it again and seeing who comes out on top with the different names and rosters and stuff like that would be interesting to see as well. All right. Game of the week, number 2.
Oh, brother.
It's a spicy one right here. This is exactly what we're looking for. The battle for QB2. We got the 2-time MVP versus the 2-time MVP runner-up, Mr. Josh Allen. Sunday Night Football. I know Ravens are 1-2. Bills are steaming people at 3-0. But this is a primetime heavyweight fight. And I'm excited to see who we got going. And there's no one else to start with but Mr. Cam.
Yes, we're 1-2, but it doesn't feel like we're 1-2. Just a light recap. Obviously, those first 3 quarters, you start off, you feel great. Yeah, we're doing great, and you almost blow the game. So, yeah, we can run the ball now, but we still haven't solved our issue of not being able to maintain leads or not being able to maintain pressure on the offensive side of the ball. And that is a problem, especially when we just watched Josh Allen do unholy things to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it makes me worried.
Stuff you telling confession.
Literally.
Confession? But that stuff people pay $15 for on OF. Like, I don't know.
He is not wrong. He ain't wrong. I'm telling y'all. Go watch that game. Go watch that game. He ain't wrong.
Don't watch that game.
Hey,
if you watch that game, you gotta watch that with the door closed. You gotta put your headphones in. That ain't. It's not right.
Turn the brightness down. Door closed. Make sure you got your headphones.
Make sure you're connected to the Bluetooth.
Man.
It was not right. Now, obviously, I would hope we still continue with trying to establish the run game because it's clear we're definitely gonna try to do that against a very good D line that the Buffalo Bills have. But we still should be able to get some wins out on that secondary. I know we don't have the best separation creators besides Zay Flowers, so we're gonna have to scheme some stuff up to get him out the way. Obviously, my main issue when it comes to us on offense is our O-line, because I didn't really see anything to make me feel super confident that that issue has been solved, and this is going to be a very big test. Von Miller is seeming like he's back from his injuries. He's seeming as close as he can be, as no matter how old he is or may seem, he's very close to being what the Bills need to help propel them. Greg Rousseau has been solid still, and AJ Epinesa has been stepping up. And we can't forget Ed Oliver, no matter how you feel about him. They can create a myriad of ways to scheme those guys open on pass rush. And we've been having issues on that right side of the line. Y'all have heard me say it. Hopefully, we have a great game plan schemed up to make sure that they can't just stunt on us crazy and not abuse Daniel Filele. So as long as we can do that, I think that we have we have a fair shot as much as anybody else does. On the defensive side of the ball, we gotta limit any big plays because Josh gonna get some big ass plays. So we gotta limit big plays from Josh Allen. If somebody gets the ball short, please tackle, because Jacksonville acted like they couldn't fucking do that last week. They couldn't tackle a hot dog in a phone booth. Like, it was crazy. So please just make sure y'all rally to the ball and tackle. We have our pass rush has to get home. Obviously, I mean, we probably will send some blitz, but we're probably gonna be mainly playing contain just to make sure that Josh doesn't gash us with his feet. And so yeah, we just gotta limit big plays and do our best to slow down James Cook. Make sure he's not ravaging us because James Cook has been on a great run since last year, and that's how we got to win this game. Luckily we're at home because I ain't gonna lie, I don't know how it would felt if we was in Buffalo. It'd be a scary sight. So I'm always gonna take my Ravens to win. If I had to give a score, let's do. I'm gonna do a simple one. Let's do 24-21.
Okay. I like that. I'll pick it up. I was at the Cowboys and Ravens game, and I've seen a lot again. I'm more X and O's. I'm more analytical. Seen a lot of seen some good offense from the Ravens. Seen a lot of bad defense from the Ravens, though. It was very, very, very scary, bro. Scary hours for that Ravens defense, especially across the middle of the field. As good as Roquan is, Roquan can't cover everything in the middle of the field, so they're just kind of leaving him hang high out to dry. That's really all it is. They're leaving him high out to dry. They're struggling. They're struggling to cover the middle of the field. It's bad. Again, Bills just absolutely murdered Jacksonville, and that's a team that played a bunch of man, and hey, we're gonna run the ball on them. We're gonna basically Josh Allen them. They all just could do whatever they wanted. Again, they could just do whatever they wanted, and again, the Ravens should feel okay about winning, about surviving a Cowboys miraculous comeback, by the way. And Cam kind of touched on it. Hey, first 3 quarters y'all were good. The first 51 minutes y'all were good. Those last 9, real scary, real scary, by the way. But yeah, I mean, as for who I'm gonna take, it's kind of hard to pick against the Bills right now. It's hard. It's very hard to pick against them. Again, I mean, I think I go Buffalo. I think Josh Allen's going to be able to pick apart that defense and the middle of the field, be able to fire those throws in those tight windows inside those, just be able to rocket those throws in there. Give me Buffalo. Their defense is good too. It might get real scary real quick. Give me Buffalo 31-21.
You want to? What do you want me to go?
I can go ahead next. We're supposed to get some rain up here in this area on Sunday, so I think that's going to be a big involvement in this matchup. But obviously, super excited to see these two quarterbacks go at it. I think Baltimore had a little bit of a slow start because I don't really know what happened with the Raiders. They just kind of seemed to just trip that one up. But like they had every opportunity to beat Kansas City. They're the defending Super Bowl champs. You live with that loss, and they go on the road today. I know the comeback. Cam's a fan. He starts about the comeback. The comeback was fake, Cam. It took an onside kick and a Justin Tucker missed field goal for that to even look like close to a thing. I understand, being a fan, those things get a little bit scary, but the Ravens dominated that football game pretty comfortably. I felt like they discovered their identity, especially with getting Lamar Jackson involved as a runner. They didn't just try to make him a drop back passer, which they do that to everybody else. Of course, for Dallas, all of a sudden he's a runner again. But that's what that was the game plan. And I think that needs to be the game plan going against this matchup against the Buffalo Bills. I give the Ravens a good shot here. I think that one for Buffalo. Buffalo's riding high. It's also been the Dolphins, the Jaguars, and the Cardinals. None of those teams I really respect. I don't think 2 of those teams are even playoff teams for real. So this is going to be Buffalo's first step up in competition as well, whereas the Ravens have played a couple of playoff teams already. So I think the Ravens are a little more battle-tested. I think the Ravens are going to do a really, really good job of winning the time of possession battle, running the football, handling things on that end. And then I expect the Ravens defense to be able to hold it down against the Bills offense that has been really spraying the ball around. they don't really have an explosive talent that really breaks the game open besides the quarterback. And if Roquan Smith, if they can have a handle on the quarterback option, which, they deal with that in practice all the time, they should be able to give this Buffalo offense problems. So I'm going to take the Ravens 27-24. I think Baltimore their run game gives them a chance to really control the ball, limit Josh Allen's chances. And I think Josh Allen being pressed into a situation where he actually has to compete in the game for the first time all season, I think that could lead to a couple of turnovers as well. So yeah, give me Baltimore to get their streak going and find their way back in the win column again, 27-24.
That's a good point about the defense, but I will say this: Nate Wiggins and Brandon Stevens are food. They are food. They are, unfortunately, they are food.
As fuck.
And that's why I'm siding with Dalen on this one. When you have young players in your secondary going against elite quarterbacks like this, it normally does not go in their favor. I hear what you're saying, Moody, about the Baltimore defense being able to probably contain Josh Allen a little better and the elements affecting it, but that dude's playing out of his mind right now. I mean, as far as just not turning the ball over, it's a 3-game stretch, but it's the best I've ever seen him as far as just not turning the ball over. Like, he's just making really, really good decisions, and I know that's part of his job, right? So I shouldn't be, sucking him off for that, but it's like this game, specifically for the Ravens' sake, right? Because, like Cam said, the Ravens last week, they played A+ game for 3 quarters. When you're playing these conference games, these division games, no, it's not a division game, but conference games, you have to play your A+ game the entire game. Because when it comes to the end of the year, these games are going to matter the most when it comes to seeding, playoff position and all that. So I just really like what I'm seeing from Buffalo right now. I really like what I'm seeing from Josh Allen. And I think that while Lamar Jackson is, an explosive playmaking machine, I also feel like they're not getting enough out of their pass catchers right now. They're just not getting enough. Like, Zay Flowers, love you to death, but in my opinion, in this league, Zay Flowers should be a wide receiver 3. Like, honestly. So, it's situations where you really don't have a clear one. Mark Andrews, hey, don't shoot the messenger, but it seems like he's kind of taken a step back as far as the tight ends in the NFL and playing ability. So, I just don't know if I can really trust, the young secondary, obviously, with the Ravens, or the pass catchers for the Ravens to consistently separate. And really, when things really get sticky and it really gets tough, for Lamar to be able to get the ball to the right people to make plays if his legs fail him. So give me Buffalo, and I'll take them in a little bit of a more high-scoring affair too. Give me Buffalo 29 and give me Baltimore 22.
All right, and we're going to move into our final game of the week, Monday Night Football. This is real spicy. This is a battle of 2 teams really, really competing in the conference. We got the Seattle Seahawks heading to Detroit for the 3rd consecutive season to face on the Lions. And I want to kick this one off because I got this little stat. Seahawks have gone, this is the 3rd straight year that the Seattle Seahawks have traveled to Detroit to go play a football game. 2022, Seattle wins 48-45. Geno Smith, Jared Goff duel. Last year, 37-31 overtime. Seahawks victory. So these 2 teams have had it's been a little bit of a rivalry going on in these last couple of seasons. To be able to go into Detroit, Detroit's not an easy place to go and win. And Seattle's gone in there twice and left with W's, and their offense is absolutely steamrolled the Detroit Lions defense. And I expect that to happen again. Geno Smith continues to play with a lot of confidence. DK Metcalf, like somebody who's been an underrated storyline this season, how good DK Metcalf looks. He's been awesome. And while Tyler Lockett seems to be falling off a little bit and JSN seems to kind of just be plateauing in that range, DK is a real deal number one. And I think his ability to create those explosive plays on the outside, and then I know Kenneth Walker's been hurt, but Zach Charbonnet, because so many teams want to use second round picks on RB2s. Zach Charbonnet has been excellent for the Seattle Seahawks as well, and I think they're gonna have a real strong chance of walking into Detroit and leaving with another victory, because I think their offense just matches up so well with the Detroit defense, especially in that secondary. I think Geno's going to have all the time he needs to be able to go and make plays down the field. They have a good tackle group over there. And then Mike McDonald versus Ben Johnson. I think that is probably the most fun matchup of the weekend, possibly. Seeing those two great minds going at it offensively and defensively. Seahawks don't have all the talent in the world on defense, but they got a hell of a coach, and they have the ability to play from ahead and force teams to have to abandon their run games, which is what Detroit hangs their hat on. Detroit's trying to play a more spread passing style, but at the end of the day, you saw against the Cardinals, they were able to rediscover their identity, hammering the football, running the football. Sam Laporta's dealing with the ankle sprain. He's barely been involved this season anyway. The Detroit Lions are favored at home, and I think they probably should be, considering they were in the championship game last year, and they're playing okay football to start the season. But give me Seattle here. Give me Seattle in another game that both teams reach the 30s, 38-34. I think Geno Smith puts on another show in the Motor City, and he outplays Jared Goff again.
That's crazy, Moody. I agree with that 100%. Yeah. Other than the Eagles, right now, as far as the team that I hate watch, I guess that's the new term the kids say, it's definitely the Lions, so I'm not going to sit here and pick the Lions ever in a game. Not for real. I think Seattle has finally figured it out. Like, Mike McDonald, as aforementioned, great coach, but I think they figured out, what type of team they want to be, tenacity-wise, mindset-wise, and you see it on the field and how they're performing. But like Moody said, yeah, Detroit, your secondary, you guys suck. You guys suck. You guys still suck. I understand that Brian Branch and Terrion Arnold, top picks from University of Alabama, but you guys still suck. So until you guys don't suck, you guys are going to be in positions where, at the end of the game, you're asking Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams to compete, because you're going to let receivers get open. This is going to happen. So give me Seattle here. I think it'll be high scoring as well, but I have them getting into the 40s, Moody. Give me Seattle 45, Detroit 41.
I'm gonna be real quick and brief, just off the simple fact of I don't think I've gotten to watch any of these. I don't think I've gotten to watch either of these guys yet this year. So I don't really know how everybody's doing. So I'm just gonna do this to spread agendas. Obviously, I'm just gonna hope that Seattle, Zach Charbonnet gets 3 rushing touchdowns. And on the Detroit Lions side, I need Amon-Ra St. Brown to have 10 catches for 150 and 2 TDs, and that's a win for Cam.
Hey, selfish reasons are the best reasons.
All right. Well, since we're doing the selfish reasons, I need this to be a running type of game. I just need both these teams to run the ball. I don't care what the score is. Just I need Kenneth Walker to go for 6 touchdowns. I need David Montgomery to go for another 6 touchdowns. Just let's do it like that. Let's just do it like that. But no. I truthfully believe that again, Mike McDonald's a damn good coach. He was one of my favorite, DCs come last year. Just love what he did schematically, and he does a good job at countering the Shanahan tree and very much frustrating that tree. I know Ben Johnson is creative in his own right, but I know that McDonald, I have his team ready and prepared, and mentally prepared and just detailed down to the point of where those guys just did. I think they'll be able to frustrate that Lions offense, especially since they're hurt. And I think Frank Ragnow is dealing with a little bit of Frank Ragnow's a little banged up. I know Laporta's hurt. Brian Branch, I don't know if he got out of concussion protocol, but I know he was in concussion protocol after the game against the Dolphins, or not the Dolphins, the Cardinals. But I do know that Seattle's a little bit banged up as well, especially on the defensive line, so that could that could definitely, be their demise. But I think I'm gonna, roll with Seattle here. I do think Seattle is gonna win. I don't think it'll be the crazy shootout just because I think Mike McDonald is not gonna go for any of that. Give me 28-19 Seattle.
Nice. Funny, that might be some scoregami right there that Davis trying to get into the air here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that wraps it up, guys. Another excellent show. Looking forward to another great football weekend. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, turn your notifications on. 5-tool fan. We need 5-tool fans here. Versatile. That's what we're looking for at the Sunday Spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Rock with that. That's dope. That's dope.